Folks, Dennis Jr. here with my father, Denny Sr. We're out behind the shop this afternoon with a brand new Zager Easy Play ZAD20. This is a very popular guitar of ours. I thought I'd do a brief walk around here if you're not familiar with our guitars and just tell you a little bit more about it. Again, this is a ZAD20 acoustic. It's a pure acoustic, non-electric. It's a full-size dreadnought guitar. Dreadnought is the most popular size of guitar in the world. It's big enough to where they put out power, but not small enough so they sound teeny and thin. It's just right in the middle there. That's what's very popular about dreadnoughts. This is a full solid Sitka spruce, solid African mahogany back and sides guitar, meaning it will sound very punchy and bright. If you're looking for a deeper, richer sounding guitars, then I would recommend our rosewood guitars, which are our 80 and 900 series. Yeah, they are a little more expensive. Rosewood guitars always are, but if you're looking for really deep and rich and powerful, then I just recommend rosewood. It's always been that way, literally with all brands and models. Rosewood is deep and rich. But if your budget doesn't allow you to get that far, I will say I have had customers come from rosewood guitars, other brands, who absolutely love this guitar. I had a customer come, I think it was from a Martin D16 last week, who absolutely loved his new ZAD20. Martin, the oldest and one of the best guitar makers in the world. We have a lot of customers coming from Martin these days. Martin and Taylor are the two brands. We've got a lot of guys coming from Taylor 2, 3, 4, and even 5 series buying our ZAD20. I'll go over some of the basics of what all of our guitars have built into them, part of our technology. First and foremost, we have a custom bracing system in this guitar. Right below the bridge here, we build them just a little bit thinner. And with our bracing system that we have, it makes it so you don't have to press nearly as hard on the strings to form chords. And that makes a world of difference if you're just starting out as a new player, as new players don't have any muscle or dexterity built up in their fingers yet. And for our advanced professional players, our artists on stage, those guys, you know, where they used to be able to play hour sets can sometimes go 2 and 3 hours now, because when you, again, barely have to press, you can go for much longer playing times, and you can move with a lot more speed and dexterity on the fretboard. So that makes a world of difference. Also, if you look at our guitars, and they all have this built into them, we all have custom cow bone handmade nuts. That's the white part here. And if you look at our guitars, you'll notice a lot of players think that our guitars have a wider neck. They do not. A wider neck would slow most players down. What we do have, though, is wider string spacing side to side. The distance from the big E to the little E. That just makes a big difference when a lot of you guys have bigger, fatter fingers that are trying to, you know, when you're trying to form certain chords and you're leaning on one string and you don't need to be, and it causes buzzes, mutes, and rattles. You won't get that nearly as much with our guitars. And again, for pro players, you guys are just able to move faster. I can't tell you how many players I speak with coming from all brands who say, I got on your guitar and I wasn't making half the mistakes and I was moving a lot quicker. It was just more fun to play. Also on our guitars, you know, we use a special soft nickel fret material that doesn't bite into your fingers and cause that dreaded string bite. Also, you look at our guitars and we run much lower string heights. So even that our guitars are easier to push down on the strings, you also have lower string heights, so you don't have as far to push them. And that can make things a lot easier, because you'll find when the string heights are lower and you're putting your hands around that neck, you're not having to jump over certain strings and leaning on them. When the strings are lower on the fretboard, it makes it easier on a lot of those reaches. You're not having to go over certain strings as high. And so anyway, I'll work my way down here. Again, we have a custom handmade bone saddle on our guitars. You wouldn't believe how many guitars are made to this day, even in the much higher price points, who are not using real bone on their guitars. They're using plastic, which we kind of consider a sin in the guitar building business. If you want the best sound, you look at the best guitars in the world, $8,000, $9,000, $10,000 guitars. They're using real cow bone, just like we do. Also, this is not an assembly line guitar. This is a handmade custom guitar, meaning this bridge and this saddle is made exclusively for this particular guitar, meaning it is hand carved with certain string heights for this guitar, and it's also these saddles have to be built and carved for perfect intonation levels, meaning that allows your guitar to come in tune perfectly every time. So it's not a one-size-fits-all approach like a lot of assembly line builders where they're just grabbing a saddle, stuffing it in there, and what you get is what you get. No, our saddles are hand custom made for each guitar, same with our nuts, and again, they're all bone. If you look at the tuning gears on this guitar, you'll see that we only use real Grover tuning machines. Look at the best guitars in the world, even at those $8,000, $9,000, $10,000 price points, they use these gears. We only use Grovers on all Zager guitars. We won't use any other. They're just considered the best. We also have a lifetime warranty on these gears, so if one ever breaks, which is really rare, but if it does, just send us an email. We send you out a brand new tuner, no questions asked. We also do that with the nut and the saddle and a lot of the parts on these guitars. They all do have a lifetime warranty. Again, as I said, this is a full solid Sitka spruce guitar, so it's going to sound very punchy and bright. This is again a full acoustic. It does have, a lot of customers ask about the strap. A lot of our players use straps, a lot of our artists do, and they want to know if they come with strap pegs. All of our guitars come with strap pegs. If you look, they are put in, we have an upper peg right up here and a lower peg down here. These have to be put in, particularly this peg has to be put in just in the perfect position, because if it's not, it means when your guitar is hanging from the strap, it's not balancing correctly. So you can have a guitar that's falling away from you or leaning in too much. Again, this comes from just, 50 years of guitar building and sending our guitars to players and artists around the world. It also comes from my dad's 75 years of playing and 60 years of teaching guitar. He's taught thousands of players now over his lifetime, and it's amazing what kind of feedback you get from students and players over that long amount of time. And that's kind of what you're buying when you buy a Zager guitar. Not just our easy play string science, but also just that many years of research and listening to our artists and players and students worldwide as far as what they like in their guitars. And we build that all in, even to our, what I consider our entry guitar here, which is our ZAD20 series. It has a lot of that stuff built into it. Bang for the buck, this probably is our best guitar we offer. I know there's a lot of players out there who don't have the budget for our more expensive guitars, but do remember, when you're buying a Zager, you're paying half price of what you would buy these in the store for. We've been approached by all the big name retailers over the last 20, 30, 40 years, and they wanted to offer our guitars in their stores, but they were offering them at double the price point. And we kind of like the idea of selling online, selling direct, and we understand that when you're trying out a guitar, it's kind of tough to do that without playing and hearing the guitar. But that's why we have our 30-day money-back guarantee, meaning you can try one of our guitars in the comfort of your own home for 30 days. If you don't like it for whatever reason, we pick it up and we pay shipping fees both ways. We are the only guitar company in the world who offers that, and we're very proud of that. So it kind of takes all the stress out of buying a guitar, and you don't have to have a guitar salesman over your shoulder, trying to sell you anything. You can just try it out in your home. If you don't like it, we pick it up, we pay for everything. If you want to exchange it for one of our higher end models, you wouldn't believe how many customers I'll see them try one of our entry levels, our 20 series, and the minute they play this guitar, they're on the phone and they say, I want your big dog, I want the 900. I just wanted to see what your quality was, and they love the ZAD20 so much they immediately went up to the ZAD900 because they just wanted to test us out, and we understand that. So If you have any other questions, don't be afraid to call or email. Someone is here 7 days a week. I got my Uncle Henry and my 2 nieces. They'll be happy to help you, and I'm always by email to help as well. So if you have any other questions, let us know. All right, take care, folks.